with Chase Christiansen, local in-state guy playing at Utah State, basically going into your second year, right? Last year you got a little bit of a chance to contribute. You had a big spring, and then this year seems like you're kind of stepping up as a leader. It seems like. How has that transition gone?
I think it's gone well. I think the experience from last year is really important in kind of understanding what it takes to play at a high level in this league. And so going into this off season and this spring, I kind of understood what changes I need to make in myself and physically as well as mentally to, take my game higher and hopefully help our team, win more games.
Yeah. So not to generalize or put everything in one category, but it seemed like at times, looking back at games or watching games, there were quite a few, long rushes. Some running backs had big games against Utah State last year. So what are you expecting this year? How do you change that? Because it seemed like, at times maybe some of the linebackers were, a step behind or step slow, and sometimes they weren't in the right position. So how do you how do you change that, or how is that going to change this year maybe?
First things first is we had a really big problem with aligning correctly.
Okay.
And a lot of the problems that you'll see with being a step slow or having people in your way that normally wouldn't be there starts with the alignment problem. So I mean, a lot of those problems can be alleviated with just understanding where you're supposed to be on the field. And secondly is to understand your fit in the defense. And when we're talking about giving up long runs, it's usually because somebody, didn't fit correctly on another person. A lot of what we do is so based on, working as a unit that having someone out of position will get you split for long runs. And so really diving deeper into the defense and understanding what you're supposed to be doing on any given play and understanding where you're supposed to fit in this puzzle to stop the run is super important. And I think we've taken a lot of initiative in really studying that and learning that and making sure that we really understand what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and the first thing that comes to mind is those those option teams, New Mexico, Air Force, some of those teams that really run the ball a lot, and even Boise, for that matter, is everyone on offense or everyone on defense has a job to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us. Let me ask you this: how much of a change? Tell us about what you've tried to get. It seems like you've added weight, you've gotten stronger. What have you done to try to get better in the last year, or whatever?
Yeah. So our strength staff is awesome. So I mean, first things first is to take care of the things that you need to physically. So for me, that was my weight was okay, but a lot of the weight wasn't good weight. So really honing in on nutrition and cutting body fat while maintaining the muscle mass and gaining strength was really important for me over the off season, and I really achieved the goals that I was looking for as we started the off season. And then secondly was like what we talked about earlier, was really being a master of the defense as a whole and really understanding where people are and what they're doing and how I fit into that has been the area that I really focused on in the off season.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the other linebackers. It seems like there's a lot of guys, maybe some depth, but who are some of those that are kind of stepping up either as leaders or really impressive so far?
I think the depth is really good, and we've added a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
We as the inside, because I really know the guys in my position, and people like Ofa Latu, who just got here, and Suli, who just got here. Those guys are really working hard to get in with the understanding what we're doing on defense, and so they can contribute. And then there's people who've been here before, like Alex and Kevin Metzenheimer, who didn't play a lot last year, but has a lot of talent. And then we have a guy who got moved from outside to inside, in Mason Tobeck, who is I can't say enough about how our position group has really worked on the physical and the mental side of the game. Um, who else? I'm not leaving anyone out. Chasen obviously has been battling injuries basically the whole time he's been here. So it's going to be nice to get guys back and to really be able to put together a linebacker core that Utah State has been known for. And I really think that having all the depth that we have and the improvements that we made, that we really can be a defense that we had in like the 2014.
So is that just kind of that consistency and maybe making some of those big plays that will be the difference, do you think? Or
yeah, absolutely. I think big plays are such a momentum shift in this game, and when you give up last year, it felt like 3rd and long really just was a huge detriment to our defense. We could get people on third down and long, and then we give up a pass, we give up a long run. So really, I think as a defensive unit as a whole, everyone has really owned it as far as that we weren't as good as we wanted to be last year, and then really just made tremendous strides in, working towards being better in each individual's craft and physically and in the mental game. It's pretty impressive the work that the guys have put in over the off season.
Okay, what about who are some of the leaders of the defense? It seems like Dallin's name always comes up, obviously, because he's so vocal, but maybe Jalen, yourself. Yeah. Are there any of the defensive line stepping up or any of the outside linebackers?
GMAC is a defensive lineman who is a really good leader, and so is Derek. Derek Larson, who's an outside linebacker. I think that we have a lot of leaders in each position group. I think that there's people who can lead the new people as well as the people who have been here for a couple of years in every position group. And I think that knowledge and the leadership and having so many on the field really will contribute to being better as a team, as both on the field and then as well as the people behind who are, the depth.
Is Derek playing a little bit in the inside as well, or just outside? Are there some guys that kind of cross back and forth? Or?
He was playing inside early in the spring, but for the most part, as we got to the spring, that stopped. I don't know. It's very open to the coaches are free to move people around wherever they think. That they can get a better fit, wherever they think a guy might be able to contribute on the field, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see people moving from inside and outside and being tried at a couple different positions as we get going in camp here too. It's very fluid, and they just want to get the best people on the field.
Is Sully a guy that you think could come in and start right away, or it seems like he was pretty kind of a highly recruited or thought of guy coming in? It seemed like.
Sully is a super athletic guy, very athletic, and has been picking it up fast. I think the number one thing that people struggle with when they get here is to really understand your position and to have a total grasp on the defense, because we want to do a lot of different things. And so if he can really get to the point where he understands exactly what he's doing, he'll be a great help to us this year.
Yeah. What does the depth chart look like? Obviously, it's before you've even practiced, but what would the depth chart look like?
I don't know.
Is it everybody just fight? You just have to battle for it, right?
I can't really say. We don't really have a depth chart out, and then
sure.
Tomorrow we should know. So, but until then, I don't know.
Yeah, even you are, just have to battle and prove yourself, and how much of a mentality is that on the team as far as everybody battles and everybody has to prove themselves?
Everybody wants to play. You don't come here to sit on the sidelines and watch the game. So the battles for each position are intense. Everyone wants to be the guy who's starting, and so I think that is a huge advantage to have that many guys, that are capable and that many people who want to do the job. And so I think as we get going to fall camp, that's just going to, breed an environment of improvement and our team getting better.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else, but I appreciate your
All
time.
right.
Good
Yeah,
to talk to you.
anytime.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Chase.
Appreciate
Okay.
it.